Okay, Lions are coming off their best year ever, right? And it seems like the national media, everybody has respect for this team. And then the season ends and we get beat. It's a crazy come from behind, unprecedented win by the San Francisco 49ers, something they've never done and something we've never done. And I was reading something that made me very frustrated, if I'm going to be honest, and it was the Coach of the Year race. But before I get into that and the disrespect that I think still is out there for the Detroit Lions, even though they're an extremely lovable team, I have two very important questions for you. And the first one is, you see the Hutch jersey back there. It's a signed Hutch jersey. All right, I'm excited about that. The question is, that's going to go up here, and then I'm going to have another jersey below it. You got the team banner that we've changed. You got the Barry Sanders signed football. I got a Barry Sanders signed picture that's going to go about here. Maybe a Jerry Rice one right about here. All right, who's my other jersey? Leave a comment below. Who's my other jersey? I mean, I've had some thoughts. I've thought about going movies, like getting a jersey from a movie. I've thought about historical players for the Lions. I've thought about other historical players that I just like. Like, there's a certain quarterback that I love that didn't play for the Lions, and I was thinking about putting his one up there too. So anyways, here's my second question, and it has to do with what I'm going to show you here. It was a tweet from Rob Maddie that talked about how close the AP Coach of the Year was. So you're probably wondering, why am I showing you this? Well, Kevin Stefanski and DeMeco Ryans tied for first place, but Kevin Stefanski had one more first place vote. One more first place vote. So he, by rule, gets Coach of the Year. Here's the problem I have. I read something that says the Coach of the Year race was close, and then I go to click on it, and I see that it was a two-man race. I see that it was a two-man race, and I see that Dan Campbell only gets 33 total points, while the winning two were at 165. I'm going to make an argument in this video of why Dan Campbell is a better coach than Kevin Stefanski and DeMeco Ryans. And here's the unique thing about this. We have another channel. It's called Sports Talk Extra. If you love NFL, if you love other teams, go watch that. We started that to be, for teams that the national media ignores. But the funny part is we do a lot of coverage for the Browns and the Texans. And so I've seen how good these coaches are. But how in the world do you only give Dan Campbell 33 points? All right, if we look at the standings, the Detroit Lions had tied for the second best record in the NFL. With the San Francisco 49ers, by the way, with the 49ers, who Kyle Shanahan came in here almost as high as Dan Campbell. Are you telling me right now? Sorry if you hear my kid yelling upstairs. All right, are you telling me right now that Kyle Shanahan, who put together the exact same record as Dan Campbell, has the same level of talent on his team as Dan Campbell? Like, going into the year, bona fide superstars, all that kind of stuff. Like, Dan Campbell has made these young players and into what they are, where Shanahan has a ton of talent. What are we doing? Why was Campbell not in this race? I'm not even going to stop. I won't even stop at the fact that we had the second best record in the NFL. How about the fact that 2 years ago we were 3-13-1? How about the fact that we were 0-10-1 or 1-10-1 or whatever it was? All right, like, that was awful. How about the fact that just last year we were 1-6, 2-6? And the coaching job that he did to turn it around that year and then to continue on that this year? So what this tells me on this voting is that apparently we just have a stacked talent team. And Brad Holmes has done a phenomenal job at acquiring talent. And I do think we are a very talented team. But to win with as many rookies that are being major contributors and second-year players and third-year players as we have contributing, the resurgence of Jared Goff That's not Brad. I mean, that's Brad Holmes drafting the rookies, but that's Dan Campbell and his coaching staff getting them ready to play. That's preparing them. Jared Goff is not Brad Holmes. That's Dan Campbell. And then you look at the other side of it too. Both Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, he retains them. Ben Johnson, again, chooses to stay in Detroit. You talk about the coaching staff that Dan Campbell's put together. Do we not factor that into Coach of the Year? And how good of a coaching staff he had put together? It's unbelievable. I mean, it's truly remarkable. What about to end the year? What about the playoffs when coaching is the most important? Detroit Lions knock off the former quarterback Matt Stafford and the Rams, who were 6-1 in their last 7 going into that game? 6-1, 6-2, somewhere in there. And then they beat the Bucs, who were 4-1 or 5-1 in their last 5 or 6 heading into that game. 2 red hot teams going into the playoffs, and the Lions are like, nope. Dan Campbell's got them. And then they lose in a 1-score game to the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns, who dealt with injuries all year, I understand that. It was a phenomenal coaching job. Phenomenal coaching job. They get blitzed and just destroyed by the Texans. So I even have a problem with Stefanski being over DeMeco Ryans. And then DeMeco Ryans and the Texans go and play the Ravens and just get destroyed by the Ravens in the divisional round. That's hard. I guess what I'm saying is I feel like there's no area in which you can say that Stefanski or DeMeco Ryans outperformed Dan Campbell. None. They didn't have a better record. They didn't get further in the playoffs. They didn't end the season in a close game. Now, are there areas in which you can be impressed, like with DeMeco Ryans winning? Yeah. With a rookie quarterback on a brand new team? Yeah. That's unbelievable. Kevin Stefanski with all the injuries, especially at quarterback, is that impressive? Yeah. Right? It's unbelievable. The Texans are very similar to the Lions in many, many ways, and it's a very exciting up-and-coming team. But I just think it's crazy that it was not even close. That I don't understand, and that means that there has to be some bias in it, especially when you see how far these guys are ahead, and then the fact that you have Shanahan and Harbaugh that are right on Campbell's heels, right? Even though they have obviously more proven teams, I guess is the way I can say it. I'm not saying more complete, even though they are more complete, especially on the defensive side of the ball, but they have more proven teams. I don't understand how those guys are right up there with him either. I don't. And I don't understand how he only has 3 first-place votes and 3 second-place votes. I don't understand it. I don't understand how other people get ahead of him in third-place votes. So that's just kind of where I'm at with it. But here's what we know. Detroit, we got a winner at head coach. The team is behind him. This is only the beginning. All right, thanks for watching. Thank you. Like, subscribe. See you on the next one.